If you weren't with me on Tuesday, no, that would have been Sunday, March 8th, this is the card I demonstrated. I basically called this stacked stamping, and I featured the Welcome Easter stamp set with these cute little spring babies. So, and then the card also features this beautiful embossed vellum, and that's part of the So Very Vellum specialty paper that you can get free with a qualifying order while supplies last this month while celebration is going on. So if you missed that demonstration, you can find it here on my Stampin' Scrap business page, or you can also find it on today's Stampin' Piece with Mary Knabe blog post. So definitely go back and check that out because it's fun and it's much easier to do than it might look to you. Okay, so tonight I have just a very brief demonstration, and I wanted to show you that I'm actually using some paper from the See a Silhouette Designer Series paper in the annual catalog. So I just wanted you to know where that is, page 166 in the annual catalog. It's not one I've used very much. It really has some very bold images, and then the back side of the pattern page, the back side is more of a like tie-dye look to it. This is the card I've made, and what I'm going to show you is how I made the pineapple to give it some depth and more interest. And I will say that I got the idea, or I'm casing the idea of Patty Bennett in how she made the pineapple. She used several more colors in it, but I'm limiting it to 2 colors for the pineapple bottom, and then I don't know why this is so crooked tonight, and then a couple colors for the top part, the greenery part. So what I want to show you, this is where that See a Silhouette Designer Series paper comes from. Oh, lots of you are jumping on. Nice to have you all here. Julie, where in Ohio are you from? Pat, welcome. Marilyn, welcome. Joyce, I'm glad you're here. Hello, Vicki. Be sure to comment throughout the video, because each time you comment, your name will be entered into the drawing for one of these fun cards. So this is the See a Silhouette sheet that I cut that pineapple base from. And this, again, I got this idea of cutting the base from this DSP from Patty Bennett, wonderful demonstrator from the San Francisco area. I also wanted to show you that there's a couple others that you probably could use as well to cut these out. That one, and then this one, picking up some of those orange and yellows and maybe even some of that red. So there's a few choices from that pack. So I've already pre-cut my pineapple base, and I've pre-cut the pineapple top, the leafy part, from Pear Pizzazz. You're also going to need, what did I do? Here's my scrap paper. You're going to need some scrap paper. You're also going to need a basically approximately 2.5 by 2.5 inch square, and we're going to use crushed curry cardstock, and we're going to use this to back the base of the pineapple when we're finished coloring it. So we're going to work with, I'm going to set this aside for now, and we'll work with the bottom. Crushed curry ink and soft suede ink. Now I will also say that, oops, just got my finger in that. If you don't have this See a Silhouette paper, You can, of course, use any cardstock. I would probably go a lighter colored cardstock like Daffodil Delight, or maybe even the So Saffron, and then add the ink to it like I'm going to show you now. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that designer series paper, but if you have that paper, you have some scraps, or you want to try it out or use it in a different way, this is the way to do that. So I'm going to use sponge daubers tonight, one of my favorite little tools. I'm going to ink it up, and I'm just randomly going to add ink to that base of the pineapple, the fruit part of the pineapple. I don't know what to call it. Okay, hi Amelia, hi Pat. Vicki, welcome. Okay, so you can see some areas are lighter and darker, and you just put on as much ink as you want. If you want it darker, and especially maybe around the outside edges, kind of give it that look of, you know, maybe the light shining onto it in the center there, something like that. You decide how much ink you want to put on, okay? Then I'm going to go in with my soft suede. Hold on one second while I get that. And I'm not going to put quite as much of the soft suede on, but it does give it a little more dimension, you can see, by adding the soft suede brown tone to it. Okay. And I think that looks good to me. I'm going to stop here. There's no right or wrong way. It's just a matter of preference and how it looks to you. So you don't need to go completely crazy with the how much color to put on. Just whatever looks right to you. And if it helps to put it against your Crush Curry cardstock, go ahead and do that. So now I'm going to adhere this to my cardstock. For this, I'm going to use the multi-purpose glue, and I'm just going to, as my friend Jackie would say, a dot is a lot. She was a kindergarten teacher, and she said that's the saying they used in kindergarten with their glue. A dot is a lot, and we decided that is a good thing to tell customers when they are using our multi-purpose glue, because a little goes a long, long way. Okay, just like to go over it on the back too when it's got a lot of detail in like that. And then you're going to take your scissor snips and simply trim around that outside edge of the pineapple. And after we finish the pineapple and add it to a card base, remind me to show you what is on the inside of the card. There is a message, but it's something, it's not a stamp. It's something I found and printed on my computer. And put on the inside of the card. So, and you can see this is real simple, just going along the outside edge. Who has the Tropical Oasis suite? Any products from the Tropical Oasis suite? I should have shown you that. Here's the Timeless Tropical bundle. There's gorgeous stamp sets, some wonderful sentiments, and then, of course, some coordinating dies. And the DSP is awesome if you have not seen it. Here it is right here. So lots of great images and patterns and colors. Just gives you that fun tropical vacation feel. So I'll set this aside now, and I'm going to bring in the leafy part of my pineapple. I believe it's called the crown. Something's popping up here. Let me fix that. Okay. Oh, more people have jumped on. Hello, Sandy from California. Amy Charbonneau, welcome. Stacy, welcome. I'm glad you're all here. And I'm going to do kind of the same thing with the crown of the pineapple. I'm using Old Olive and Shaded Spruce, and I die cut the crown from Pear Pizzazz cardstock. One thing you want to know about this die is it doesn't just cut out. It cuts, there's some little, what do I want to say, debossed lines in there for detail. And then some of these things are cut just part way. And I'm going to suggest that before you put your ink on, you kind of just lift those up a little bit. Just like that. Oh, here's a piece I didn't punch out. Okay, so just kind of pop those up a little bit, and they'll lay down while we're inking, but you'll see that you can get some darker areas and more detail if you lift those up first. You can see how it's darker around the edges of those raised parts. So let me grab my Old Olive dauber. I have one of these. I found the chart online somewhere. I think it was my friend Debbie Price who's watching that found these online. So I love this, and I love the chart. And yeah, you have to invest in some of the daubers, but it's great to just always have them, and I don't worry about washing them out and things like that, or mixing colors and such. So you're just going to start with the lighter color, which is the Old Olive. Now, if you wanted your crown of the pineapple real bright, you might use something like Call Me Clover. And I decided to just use 2 shades of green. When Patty did it, she I believe she used 3 or 4. But I kept mine a little more simple in limiting the number of products, the number of ink pads. Okay. And then you can decide if you think that's enough or if you think there should be some more. Okay, I'm thinking maybe I want some more of the Old Olive. I kind of like those outside leaves a little darker, maybe some here. Okay, so I think that looks good to me. I'm satisfied with that. Let me close these up and get them out of the way so I don't end up with a card in an ink pad. Plus it helps to clean up as you go along. I left a big mess in here yesterday, and I've been doing really well with cleaning up my messes before I go upstairs at the end of the day, but yesterday I just didn't, and it's not nice. It's just not fun to come down to all that mess and have to do a cleanup before you even start working. So I've already put together a card base, and I've used So Saffron for the base. It's 4 1/4 by 11 inches and scored at 5 1/2. So it's a vertical card, but it opens at the top instead of the side. I then cut a piece of soft suede that measures 5 1/4 by 4 inches. My pineapple DSP measures 5 1/8 by, let me think for a second, 3 7/8. So I went down just 1/8 of an inch on the dimensions. And then I believe this was 2 1/2 by 4 1/2. No, 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. And this is also from the Tropical Oasis Designer Series paper. Debbie, I knew you'd love the palm trees. And yes, when I first saw this bundle, the Timeless Tropical, I knew it was a Debbie set. I'm not surprised you have it. Okay, I'm just going to add my pineapple with some dimensionals. Scoot that one over a little. These are small, put one in the center. And then on this, when you put your mini dimensionals on, I'm just going to suggest that you keep them all on the flat part. You want enough that it lifts up, but not on those parts that are cut part way through, because we do want some of that dimension to show with those raised parts. Whoops, got two there. So I'll do one, oh, maybe one right here, kind of in between those raised ones. At the very bottom, I think. Need one. Okay. Yeah, I sure wish I was on vacation, don't you? Of course, the last few days in Ohio have been sunny and bright and warm. Today was a little yucky, but not horrible. Raise that up. Do the same with the crown. And then my next step is adding the little tropical flowers. Oops. And the color I used here is, I believe I used Lovely Lipstick. And I can see one dimensional is kind of peeking through, but actually maybe I'll just add a little green there and I'll cover up that little bit of white. Maybe not. Oh well. Anyway, so there's the card. One of the dies in this set is this one right here that has the 3 flowers, 2 large and a small. It cuts out all 3 of those at once, which is really, really handy. There's also a tiny leaf that you can cut out. I cut this one out from Designer Series paper, also from the Tropical Oasis Designer Series paper pack. So I'm now going to use some of my multi-purpose glue, remembering a dot is a lot. Whoops. That's not good, Mary. And I'm just going to add 3 flowers. Let me pick that up so I don't get something yucky in there. Okay, now I have it on my fingers so it doesn't want to stick. Okay. And this one I'm going to put kind of behind the other one. I think maybe just like this. Tuck it under there. Okay. And then I have, whoops. And then I have this little bitty one. I'll put right up here. And those will need a minute or so to dry. I'm going to add the leaf. Also cut from the DSP. Put that right there. And then the final bit will be to add some Purl Centers. I have to remember to order pearls. This is my last of them. I don't know how that happened. This is a staple. This is something I always have in my drawers, those pearls. Of course, I love to color them as well. I was making something earlier and I punched let me think what it's called, something blossom. I don't know, I can't, small bloom punch maybe. It's either small blossom punch or small bloom. So I cut that from some of the Brights Designer Series paper, Daffodil Delight, and I put the pearl in the center. And then I also cut some flowers that were white, so I colored some of my pearls with the Daffodil Delight Stampin' blend, and that became the center of those white flowers. So I've been using a lot of pearls lately. Anybody else love bling? Use a lot of pearls and things like that? Darlene, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Welcome Carmen and Cindy and Chrissy who have jumped on. Okay, so this is the card. If you missed the demonstration part of how I put the color on the base and the crown of the pineapple, definitely go back and take a look at that. I also stated the dimensions of the cardstock as well as the Designer Series paper used. You'll get all the details if you go back and watch from the beginning. But I want to show you the inside. I don't know if any of you have seen this, and I can put it as a PDF in the comments on this post, so that you can find it and if you want to do this project and use this saying. But it says, be like a pineapple, stand tall, wear a crown, and be sweet on the inside. So I was just making some of these to send out to some people, and I also thought it would be fun to make this in a frame with the saying beside that, and I think that's something I'm going to make for my daughters and give to them, or perhaps my sister or nieces, things like that. You know, just one of those simple reminders that we should take ownership of all the good things about ourselves and remind ourselves to stand tall, wear a crown, believe that we're special, and to be sweet and kind as well. Alrighty, that's all I have for you tonight. I will be back on Thursday afternoon at 2 p.m. for a Facebook Live on my Stampin' Piece VIP group. Okay, Thursdays are on the Stampin' Piece VIP group. If you don't belong, or you know somebody else who does not belong to the VIP group, certainly have them request to join, because that is where I put out the creative challenges. We do have a creative challenge going on right now this month, and that is to make a flap card. So you'll need to look for that video on the Stampin' Piece VIP group. And then everybody who participates and posts a picture of their challenge card will have their name entered into a drawing for a very special stamp set. And that stamp set is the Little Ladybug stamp set. This is one that customers can get right now with a $300 order, or if somebody hosts Stampin' Up! Party, then when their orders total $300, they get this automatically. So that's the only way people can get this, unless you enter my challenge and you happen to be the lucky winner of the Little Ladybug stamp set. And that again all happens on my Stampin' Piece VIP group. Debbie, I agree, it looks like a tropical drink. Can't you just, I've even got a straw down here, but it'll be wet. But I'm trying to think, what can I, here. Can't you just picture a straw coming out of that? That's cute, I might have to do that. But anyways, ladies, enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you for spending part of your Tuesday with me. I'm glad to know that you like the card, and I love sharing creativity with you. So thanks for being here, and remember to always stand tall like a pineapple, wear your crown, and be sweet on the inside. Have a good night.